Welcome back, traders. Second portion of our show, Market Movers. And before we get into that, premarketinfo.com has a special announcement for you today. Beginning today and this week, we are going to be providing weekly coverage of some of these popular S&P ETFs. We know a lot of folks out there like to use ETFs as trading vehicles, and we are going to be providing not daily numbers, but weekly numbers and a weekly outlook. Another interesting things about those ETFs is that they encompass many of the stocks of the Big Ten that we follow, so kind of give you a heads up on those. Moving on to the market movers, got some takeovers on Monday.
Yeah, we do have a few takeovers here, Joel. VRUS, which is Pharmasset, they're getting a nice premium here. Stock closed 72.67. They're getting taken out by Gilead, which is GILD, for 137 in cash. So obviously, not much technicals to talk about on VRUS. That eventually will eventually drift up to that 137 takeover price on the takeover date. But GILD, we might as well do a technical on that one. Stock is trading down almost 6% here, down $2.37 because they really paid that premium there. I see a little support at 37. What do you think on GILD, Joel?
You're either big winner or big losers with these pharmaceuticals, huh, Dennis? I do see a low back on October 6th at 36.78. So that should come into play here early in the session. Looking to see what they did in the pre-market. They were able to get the stock under $37 at $36.96. You had a double bottom there. So let's look at 36.75 is 37 as support. And I'm sure any kind of rally back up to the lows from last week should be good resistance.
GEDU, another takeover one for cash as well. Global Education Technology company there getting taken over by British company, British Pearson PLC for $11 a share. Stock is trading at $10.50 after closing $5.37. These are some hefty premiums there, Joel. Obviously this stock here eventually will just drift up to that $11 takeover price too. But man, I used to see these premiums getting taken over. Well, sometimes pharmaceuticals a little bit more, but this thing's getting taken over for a double. That's a pretty nice premium if you held that thing on Friday.
Right. What's the symbol on the British Pearson PLC?
It's traded over there. I'm not sure. It's not traded, and there's no ADR or anything over here, so that's a good question.
Okay, well, you should have been
British
long
stocks over there.
Should have been long GEDU on Friday. That's my comment on that stock.
Another takeover here is Y, which is Allegheny is buying. So they are buying TRH, which is Transatlantic Holdings. This is a cash and stock one, so you merger Arab players out there might be interested in the ratio. TRH will get $14.22 a share plus 0.145 shares of Allegheny, which is symbol Y. So they'll get 0.145 Y plus 14.22 in cash. Obviously, TRH is now going to track the Y price in that ratio. Joel, what do you think about Y?
No one really cares, Dennis.
Obviously.
Either no one wants to trade it because it's a $300 stock, or no one gives a damn. I'll just keep an eye on the weekly parameters on this one. You got down to 308.43 last week. It looks like if they take it through that level, you don't have much support till 305. Coming back on the upside. You made a weekly high on Friday, interestingly, on that. Oh, actually, the weekly high is at 320.86 as well, but expect some stiff resistance here at the $317 level.
Yeah, 322 is just huge. I don't think any of our traders really like trading thin illiquid because this is a thin stock. It traded 6,500 shares, on Friday. So this is a thin one. This probably trades and is going to trade in dollar spreads, I'd imagine. So if you're trading this one, you want to be real careful. Liquidity, especially, we've always talked about internalization and all the other fun stuff. When you're trading really illiquid stocks, that really becomes a factor. So, that's the problem with trading, a merger herb like this is just the liquidity on the Y side. If you're paying $1 or $2 spread, you're probably not going to make a heck of a lot of money putting that pair on. So that's the overall problem. But we'll do the technical. 320 resistance on this thing. 300 probably is a psychological support level. Major support for you longer-term traders at 280. I mean, this 280, Joel, we bought out there in August, September 4 or 5 times, October 2 times. I doubt very highly it's going to get down to 280 here today. But, it could sell off a bit over the next, week or two. Maybe we get down, that's the area where there's major support. So, but moving on here, CBE, which is Cooper Industries, going to be added to the S&P 500. They announced that after the close on Friday. So Cooper Industries getting a nice pop here, Joel, 54.40. So trading up over $2 on the day. We're down 17 points in the SPOOs. Cooper Industries is doing very well. $55 looks huge. Area was major resistance there. What do you think about CBE, Joel?
Well, yeah, when they do that, that means you immediately have to go out and buy the stock.
Yeah, and that's the dry humor. So don't go do that.
54.89 was the high on Friday, also the weekly high, currently trading up at that level. So people that could give a damn about it going in the S&P 500 may be looking to peel out of some longs at that level. Don't see much at 55. I see the high back on November 11th at 55.42. But if you guys are jumping on this train and you're going to buy the open, I wouldn't give it a lot of wiggle room on the downside. I'd wait to see if it doesn't hold that opening range to get out. Maybe try and buy it back in the 52.35 to 84 area, which was the highs from Thursday and Friday.
Hewlett-Packard's going to announce earnings after the bell, Joel. I guess all eyes will be on that one after, their terrible report there, last and middle of August there where the stock went, from $31, fell down to 23 when they were talking about even diversifying, getting out of the PC business and all that mumble jumble. Since then, they've changed their tune, obviously, and saying, oh, no, we're going to stay in the PC business. I think they really regretted those comments because it really crushed the stock. Obviously, valuation, is attractive still on Hewlett-Packard. So, if they're able to beat the numbers at all here, I wouldn't be surprised if the stock does rally. But, it's trading down here, obviously, at the market, 27.39 after closing 27.99. So I'll let Joel do some technicals on that one.
Did they hire Meg Whitman?
Joel, I'm a technical trader. I don't know all these fundamentals.
No, they did. Don't you remember CNBC was talking about that for like 3 weeks about, having her on as the new CEO?
Go to Google and...
No, they did. They did. Yeah, it's just, I was just making fun of CNBC. You missed that one. Anyways, we've gotten the Meg Whitman bounce here. From under $23, we're running in a major resistance here, 28.40 to 28.60. 28.59 was last week's high. I think this close is going to be good resistance today as well at 27.99. Currently trading below Friday's low at 27.64, so that should be a good swing number. Could easily trade down to this 26.82, which it traded on Thursday, which was the week low. Below that, it opens up to 26.30.
Dendreon getting a pop here, which is DNDN. There's a stock that was absolutely murdered there on that one drug back in August, from $35 down to $12. Getting a little pop here this morning. Obviously, I think the people that bought it up there at 35 prior to August don't really care that it's up 50 cents. But the people that bought it on Friday are probably pretty happy right now because the stock is up 5.88%, trading up at 881 after closing at 834. Joel, do a technical on this one.
It's going to $10, Dennis. It's got to fill the gap.
Well, $10 looks good to me too.
Yeah,
a gap there, so it may eventually drift up to that $10 area. I could probably concur with something like that.
But first, it's going to have to hold 850, and that was Friday's high. I'm not sure what news associated with this, but it is getting a pop. Putting a hurt to some shorts a little bit. But as long as we hold that 850 level, I'd be looking at that $10 resistance.
That's all I really have for you today. I mean, everything is moving. We're down 16 points in the S&P. There's movement across the board. So, keep in mind some of the, on the Big Ten, use the numbers that we provide on the S&P analysis page. Obviously, we'll get that new page up for you, that ETF page here later on this morning, so you can check that out. We'll have a menu item there for you as well. Anything else you want to close with here, Joel?
Just if for any traders have interest in stocks that we haven't mentioned, or they would even like a technical outlook on Allegheny, please email us at preinfo.com. We'll do our best to get those out to you. Have a good day. We'll be back with you with a new show tomorrow.